Hey everyone, welcome back to Bible Verse Breakdown. In today's video, we are going to be breaking down Matthew chapter 26 verse 29, where Jesus Christ told his apostles, "But I say unto you that I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom." So he's using different language like the vine and the fruit, but what he's essentially trying to tell his apostles is that, you see, right now, because he was having the evening meal or the Lord's Supper at that time. So he was telling his apostles, you see right now we're both humans, we're having this interaction, we're living in harmony. Very soon I'm going to die. And after that, I will ascend to the heavens, which happened in Acts chapter 1, verses 1 to 11. And we're no longer going to have this same kind of interaction. I'll be in heaven, I'll be a spirit, and then you guys will be human. So the interaction will no more be as it was before. But a time will come in the future in which you guys will meet me in heaven, and there will be a reunion, and we'll begin to have these same interactions we're having now, being of the same form and of the same body. Now, how do we know that the apostles are going to go to Jesus Christ to join him in heaven? Well, in John chapter 14, verses 1 to 3, Jesus Christ explained to them that I'm going to heaven now to prepare a place to receive you there unto myself. Right? He said, "Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me. For in my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. Behold, I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also." So we see Jesus Christ talking about how he would prepare a place in heaven so that the apostles would be able to join him there, and then they'd be able to live together in harmony, being both spirits, rather than Jesus being a spirit and the apostles living on earth as humans. And in John chapter 17, verse 24, we see Jesus Christ in his prayer to God Almighty before he died and ascended to the heavens. He was asking God about the same desire or wish of his, that he would allow the apostles to come to heaven and join him to see his glory. He said, "Father, I will that they also whom thou hast given me be with me where I am, that they may behold my glory which thou hast given me. For thou lovest me from the foundation of the world." So basically what was going to happen is that Jesus Christ, after he ascended to the heavens, God Almighty told him to sit on his right hand until he would make his enemies his footstool, in Psalm 110 verse 1. And, for many years, Jesus Christ sat there in heaven while God Almighty did his thing. But then a time came when God Almighty told his son Jesus, "Okay, I'm ready now. I'm ready for you to become king and for you to begin to reform the world." And so in Daniel chapter 7, verses 13 and 14, Jesus Christ was called before God Almighty in heaven, and God Almighty crowned him with a crown of pure gold, if you read Psalm 21, verse 3. And he was commanded to rule in the midst of his enemies, if you read Psalm 110, verse 2. I'm just using different parts of the scriptures to tell this story here. And then after Jesus Christ was crowned king, he began to fight his opposing forces in heaven. Just as, anytime there's a new government, you begin to take on the opposing governments, right? In Revelation chapter 12, verses 7 and 8, Jesus Christ took on the forces of Satan, the devil, who were trying to also have control over the earth. And then he was defeated, and Jesus Christ gained victory. That was what Jesus Christ was telling his apostles when he said, "I will go and prepare a place for you." He couldn't receive the apostles into the heavenly realm when Satan was still kind of exercising some authority. He had to be defeated before the apostles would join him as cabinet members of his government. In Luke chapter 22, verses 28 to 30, Jesus Christ had promised them that they would have positions in his kingdom after it had been established in heaven, where he told them, "Ye are they which have continued with me in my temptations. And I appoint unto you a kingdom, as my Father hath appointed unto me, that ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom, and sit on thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel." So Jesus saying that you will eat and drink with me in my kingdom is going back to the verse we're breaking down. "Henceforth I will not drink of this fruit of the vine until I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom." We will not have this kind of interaction again until I am king and you are brought to me in heaven, and then we'll live together, right? Just as a man prepares his house before he receives his wife in, so that they can begin to live together, perhaps have children, and so on. So if you read Revelation chapter 21, verse 9, and chapter 19, verses 6 to 8, we see the apostles described as the wife of Jesus Christ. So they are received by Jesus Christ into heaven through resurrection, because the apostles, they live on earth, they die, but when Jesus Christ was king, he began to resurrect them so that they would join him in heaven, and as we said earlier, they would begin to see his glory. And Paul explained in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 51 to 52, how this transformation works, the resurrection process, where he said, "Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed." Jesus Christ is the one performing that process since he was king, and that is how Paul, Peter, all the rest of them, and those we don't even know, they were brought to heaven, and they are now with Jesus Christ. And then those of us who are not apostles, Jesus Christ said we are the other sheep in John chapter 10, verse 16. We will not be going to heaven, but we will have an earthly inheritance as our reward. As Jesus Christ had said, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth," in Matthew chapter 5, verse 5. The reason why there are some Christians that are going to heaven is because God Almighty has picked them specially to be the wife of Jesus Christ, right? Whereas the others, it's not that God Almighty loves us less, it's just that God didn't have that specific thing for us. He wants us to populate the earth and live righteously. Just as a king has his throne, which is heaven, right? God Almighty also needs his footstool, which is the earth. If you read Isaiah chapter 66, verse 1, "Heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool." So we who are righteous on this world, we form the footstool of God. And God Almighty wants both to be in harmony and doing what pleases him. So I hope that I was able to explain the spiritual reunion that would take place in heaven between Jesus Christ and the apostles, which we can compare it to the reunion of Joseph and his brothers, right? In Genesis chapter 45, where he reintroduced himself to them after so many years, and there was a very emotional moment. You read verse 15. So I hope I was able to explain how that's also going on in heaven between Jesus Christ and the apostles. So if you enjoyed it and was able to get where I was heading, then I'd appreciate if you click the like button and the subscribe button to show your appreciation. If, on the other hand, my explanation didn't quite get to you and you are a little bit confused, please ask any questions in the comment section below, and I'd love to address them and explain my analysis further. And if you want to know when we come back with another verse breakdown, of course, you know what to do. You can click the notification bell. Have a good day, and God bless you.